We are past the midway point of the season, and every week matters. We march down the road to the college football playoff. And, Damian, your Crimson Tide, they've been rolling ever since week 1, but I want to get your playoff predictions for Alabama.
Would I say that they're going to do anything besides roll? Would I say that? Because, I mean, hold on. Now, hold on, AT. Hold on, Kev. AT, hold on now. See, y'all haven't been up here on the set with me. I'm going to keep it real. Now, is Ty Simpson or is he not playing like the best quarterback in the country right now?
No question.
Okay. All right. And then when you look at what Jam Miller has been able to do whenever he's healthy, remember that game against Vandy? The fighting Diego Pavias, and then all of a sudden Jam Miller came back, went for 138. Look at how much more explosive that offense looks when the run game is clicking. Look at Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Horton. No Ryan Williams, no problem. No problem. Now, I say that to say whenever he does turn it on, I mean, just imagine what this Alabama team is going to do. And then the defense, led by LT Overton, the season that he's having. Yeah, they lost week 1. And AT, you brought up a point. Before Alabama did what they've been doing recently, we talked about, man, they had the worst loss in college football. Well, what do they have now? They've got 4 of the best wins in the country. And then beating Vandy and Diego Pavia after what happened last year, you think that don't give this team confidence? Holding Ahmad Hardy to 50 rushing yards, making him look pedestrian, when we know he's the best running back in college football. That don't give you no confidence. Kalen DeBoer in the black hoodie, he has figured it out. That don't give you confidence, Kevin. I see you over there smiling. They can't see you because we just watching Alabama tear people up on the screen. But tell me, with that, everything I just said, that won't give y'all confidence that Bama's going to continue to roll?
It gives me confidence.
Okay, that's all I need.
I'm with you.
That's all I need.
We're good. Look, no one's playing better at the quarterback, arguably, than Ty Simpson, right? We have very short list: Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore. I mean, but he is efficient and making every throw in every window. I love what they're doing up front, offensive line-wise. Jam Miller's getting going. I like this defense. I'm falling in love with it slowly. Okay, they're starting to grow me a little bit. I don't think they take the ball away enough. I don't think they're dominant enough in situations, but they do what they have to do to win games. Nice job against Ahmad Hardy, okay? They made them one-dimensional. It was hard for, Pabula and company to do things in the air. They do an excellent job of maintaining control of the football. Their game control metric, everything points to the fact that Alabama will be a playoff team. I will give you that, yes.
That response has got to make you smile at least here.
Oh, come on. He's speaking my language.
So let's take our conversation to South Beach next, shall we? I mean, it's actually Coral Gables, if we're being honest. Where 9th-ranked Miami looks to bounce back after that upset loss to Louisville. But, AT, what are your playoff predictions for the Canes?
Well, the Canes certainly have a choice, and I think the question for the ACC is, it going to be a 1-league team, a 2-league team that gets the bids to be able to go on, because it is wide open right now. And who had on their bingo card that Georgia Tech and Virginia and SMU would be undefeated and have a shot, with Miami sitting there with a loss and needing some help, riding all they can out of that USF and Notre Dame win. We've seen this over the years with Miami, that they get Cristobal down the stretch and look really good and then kind of struggle. I'm super interested to see how they get themselves up off the mat. There does seem to be a different air about this team, but they're going to have to prove it down the stretch.
Proving it down the stretch is one thing, but I think the key to them turning it around or continuing to win games is, I think they have to overcome their MO. I think Miami, to have the kind of performance they had last week, where Carson Beck throws 4 interceptions, to me, that is uncharacteristic. But basically the team is fighting an MO, kind of the thing in the back of their brain, and Carson Beck is also fighting the itch in the back of his brain. There are hurdles that they have a genuine opportunity to get over. This is a moment in time where, man, if Mario Cristobal cannot make the bad decision at the end of a game that gets them beat, and if Carson Beck can keep his composure enough to not throw the football or throw it in the dirt or trust his teammates just that much more on the next drive instead of being a hero with his arm, then I think they'll be in the playoffs.
You are what you are. You use the word uncharacteristic. Well, this is exactly what Miami is known to do. This is exactly what Mario Cristobal is known for doing. Carson Beck and 4 turnovers. Yeah, the first couple weeks of the season, we're like, no, he's not going to do it. You turn the tape on in the past, that's what you see, especially in the highest pressure situations. That's what doesn't give me confidence about this Miami team. Whether it's Cristobal, Carson Beck, or the Miami team as a whole, they struggle when the moment matters the most. That's the biggest concern for Miami.
Yeah, certainly struggled there in that loss right there, that walk-off interception. But back to the SEC, because two surprise possible playoff contenders matching up this weekend is 15th-ranked Missouri facing off against 10th-ranked Vandy. And do either teams have what it takes to make a playoff run? Kevin?
I think in theory and on paper thus far, both of these teams have the juice in order to get to the college football playoff. But this is a separation game. This is a pecking order game. This is a who's going ahead and who's going to basically return to mediocrity to try to win, be in a New Year's Six type bowl. This is that line of demarcation because one of these teams is going to join Ole Miss, Georgia, Alabama, right? And maybe somebody else, maybe throw another name in there. And one of these teams is not going to be on that list. I think 10-2 gets you in to the playoffs out of the SEC. But this is also the time of the year, and AT, you and I talked about this. When you start taking a closer look at what the track record was, that resume either looks better or looks worse the further you get away from it. The collective body of work may not be characteristic of who they actually are going forward in the season. Your quality of depth gets tested in a way down near the end stretch of the season. Maybe your second quarterback. Maybe if you got a number two, but all those things come into play. That's why some of these teams eliminate themselves from competition, typically the ones who were under-resourced and not maybe the bigger brand teams, which is why this is definitely a separation game.
Can I tell you why both of these teams can see themselves in the playoffs? Well, when you look at Vandy, they've got a quarterback that does it all for them. And when you look at the landscape of college football, it's about what team has the best quarterback that plays the best in the highest pressure situation. Well, that is Mr. Diego Pavia. He's made a name off of it, beating Alabama. Well, then you look at Missouri. I know I just got done talking about Ahmad Hardy, what he didn't do against Alabama, but he is by far and away the best running back in college football. And we're not giving this Missouri defense the same respect that we were before the Alabama game. Now, that's because of what Ty Simpson and company did, but they're still a top 5 defense. So when you've got one team who runs the ball really well and is built very well in the trenches, offensive line, defensive line, that's Missouri. That's a playoff caliber team. And then when you have a team that surrounds around their quarterback, plays to the standard of Diego Pavia the way that Vanderbilt does, well, he can carry you to a playoff team too. So, Kevin, I completely agree with you. I think the winner of this game separates themselves and puts himself in the upper echelon of the SEC. But both teams are fully equipped to make it to the college football playoffs.
For what it's worth, Missouri is the only opponent that Pavia has started twice against with no wins in his career. I'm just throwing that out there. But we can't have a golden domer and not talk about Notre Dame's playoff chances. So, AT.
Man, it's just been an interesting ride for old Notre Dame.
Come on, we've seen this 2 years in a row, AT. This ain't interesting.
Like, I got menopause. I'm high, I'm low, I'm down. I don't know what's going on. It looked bleak, man, starting out the season 0-2, but those have been the only losses that we've had. But as they've gotten further and further away from those losses, Kevin, their resume hasn't gotten better, but, man, the team sure has. C.J. Carr and what he's doing, they've had injuries up front, but those two running backs keep them in a lot of games. And a defense which was absolutely woeful and couldn't stop anybody has figured it out and starting to play a little bit more stout. It took Chris Ash, the defensive coordinator, some time to be able to figure out and learn his personnel and how to put players in the right situation. So Notre Dame, with those two losses, if they can finish 10-2, even though there's no more ranked opponents on their schedule, that win in an impressive fashion against USC means that if they finish undefeated and win these next 5 games, they will be in the playoffs.
They're gonna be in. The 2 losses this year are the same as the 1 loss against NIU last year. But I will agree with you. Although their resume has not gotten better, the team absolutely has. And a part of that is because they give them the ball to number 4, Jeremiah Love, who went into this season, I thought he was going to be the best running back in the country. Ahmad Hardy takes that spot. But giving Jeremiah Love the ball, getting the backs involved, that's Notre Dame football. That's why they're getting better. C.J. Carr's taking over the football. But again, AT, we've been here before.
Go Irish.
We know. We know what's about to happen, AT. Stop.
You know what I like about this situation, this dynamic here, is one of these people on this set was born in 1997. and even though they were born so late and they're so much younger than a couple of us on this set, not Kiana, but he still understands the luck and the allure of touchdown Jesus and the Irish.
Come on
okay?
now.
It's uncanny. So, yes, of course they're going to get in if they win out. And Marcus Freeman, that's what he does.
Come on.
Okay? It's M.O. I'm hearing Rocky music playing, as he gets angrier and angrier. And they're like, hey, what's Marcus Freeman doing? He's like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And he's getting mad. And then his team goes on a tear, and they're in the playoffs.
Hey, man,
So,
Jesus saves, baby.
but you know that, too. That's funny.
I just
Hey, he saved me too. But listen, I know what Notre Dame is
I just want to let it be known I'm amongst the veterans over here, so I just want to put that out there too. So I'm added to the conversation.
Don't crack, though.
It does not.
Come on.
But we'll have plenty to look forward to this weekend and as we start inching closer to the postseason.